Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to the Whole Heart Social Media Mastery class for today. Welcome, welcome. Some of you are here and some of you are watching on video. Welcome to you as well. And I am going to just dive in. And for anybody who doesn't know me, I know there's not a number of new people who have registered. I'm Diana Morgan. My business is Whole Heart Marketing. And what I do is I teach people how to really be visible and get seen and get heard on social media through authentic social media, free organic reach. And what we're going to talk about today is the visibility shift that is happening in social media as a result of us as humans shifting in who we are as people, and as a result of the AI and all of the different things happening on the internet. And I have been doing this work for 20 years, so I've seen all the different phases and ups and downs and cycles, and so I'm excited about AI. I love it, and we have to really stand out as humans as well. So what I'm focusing on today is the visibility shift that has already happened. In other words, presence and engagement and authentic influence in the age of AI. Posting no longer equals visibility. The formula used to be, just post a lot and learn all the latest gimmicks and, pump out posts and used to get seen. And that's not the case anymore. Engagement is actually replacing volume. In other words, AI has raised the noise level so that human presence is what cuts through it. And that's what the bots see and perceive and give you higher engagement for. I don't play the algorithm game, but the truth of the matter is that you do get higher up in the algorithms when you show up in person and when you show up to engage and converse. And the just posting, it's not a complete waste of time, and you need to do it because you want to show up with your education and your promotional posts, but you really need to have that other piece, which is the personal engagement. So the question I always ask is, how do you show up? Are you consistent? Do you show up occasionally? Are you excited to show up? Or does it feel like a big should, a big ugh? I would rather not do this because, everything is energy and we're all energetically connected. So when you show up, your goal is for people to experience you as if they were meeting you in person. So when you show up and you're energetically present, people feel that. And when you show up and you're just phoning it in, if you will, you're just posting or you're just hearting everybody, people feel that too. And now that I've said that to you, I would like to challenge you to start noticing, like, when do you lean in and really engage? And when do you just scroll right by? And if you'll notice, it's when there is an authentic interaction going on. So the vulnerability of visibility is what I've been talking about a lot lately. It's overwhelming. Tell me if these are things that you have felt. Overwhelming, it's confusing, social media moves too fast. This is a big one for some people. It was big for me. I can't be that person. I can't do those kind of videos. I'm not going to do reels like those people's reels. It's like that's what happens to us. I don't really know what even works and I feel invisible. Have you felt any of those? It's like you feel these things, and then what happens is you go into this overwhelm and this confusion, and you start pulling back, and then you just end up saying, I think I'll go, or you click on something and now you're on YouTube watching videos, or you somehow walk away from it. And that's what I want to really talk about today, is that so you don't do that. So you don't walk away from it, and that you know how to really show up on social media in a way where you're not getting overwhelmed and confused by all the noise. So the truth of the matter is, your people are not looking for more content. They're looking for you. They're looking for presence and connection to become your clients. Okay. So there's two ways to show up on social media. There's performance based, which is, what should I say? You open up and you're like, what should I say? There's broadcasting. What do I put out there? Or there's presence led, which is what is true, real, and authentic for me? How can I really show up as myself and be seen and heard? Okay. And that's what we're really looking for. So think about for yourself, what is your intention on social media? Is your intention new connections? Is it networking with existing connections, referrals, clients, inspiration, education, finding out what's happening with your friends or with the world? If it's with the world, hopefully you're reading 3 or 4 other sources too. And is it connecting with your family and friends? Why are you on social media? If you are on social media to get clients, to do business, to connect, build relationships, referrals, opportunities, that is what we're talking about today. Okay. So that's what I want you to think about, because your what you do on social media is going to show up differently based on what you're on social media for. And, I know that a lot of people are like, well, I want to see what's happening with my family, and I'm just going to post personal things, and I'm just going to use my personal social media for personal things. But if you want to really be on for business collaborations, opportunities, your personal profile needs to be used for business, not posting all about business, but it needs to be used from a business perspective, which means when you're liking, commenting, sharing, et cetera, you're doing it from your personal profile on Facebook and, of course, on LinkedIn as well. So here is the reason why so many entrepreneurs feel invisible right now. AI has multiplied the volume of content. There's more content, which means less attention, right? It's like there's so much, we're just overwhelmed. The algorithms reward interaction signals. So when somebody comments on your content, the algorithms reward that and you get higher up. Visibility today is not a content problem, it's a connection problem. The evolution in the age of the evolution of authenticity in the age of AI. So the old authenticity used to be, just be real, show up, be authentic. But now the new visibility is the 3 crucial things you need are a clear voice, you need a clear perspective, and a clear presence. And, if you are switching niches or switching your products, it's really important that you, like Giselle, you were mentioning, that you have a focused campaign. So you get 2 seconds to engage people when you are showing up online. So you want to make sure that you are engaging people in the way that you want to engage them. And it's not like one marketing message forever. It's one marketing message per campaign. So you pick one thing for a couple months, maybe switch to something else, because the challenge, the struggle that you're going to be talking about is going to be different depending on who you're targeting. And so AI can help you create content. Are you guys using AI to help you with content creation? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I mean, it's a powerful tool. It's not a tool that you can take straight from there and post it all over, but you can use it to give you a jump start. You can use it to help you. I actually teach a whole class in how to use AI to really help you with your social media. But it can help you to expand and magnify your reach. So you're not going to post straight from there. So the visibility framework in 2026 is presence, how you show up energetically, not just visually, as I talked about. Clarity, your message becomes the filter that attracts the right people. Engagement, real conversations signal relevance to both humans and the platforms. So don't forget, when you engage in a conversation and you're actually, saying valuable things in the conversation, people who are following you see that. So it's just as valuable as if you posted on your own social media. Okay, so you're still positioning yourself as an expert in your field and a person who cares about other people. So it's really a valuable, powerful way to engage on social media. And attraction. Visibility becomes about transformation, not content. So the leadership shift in social media, stop asking, how do I get seen? And start asking, what do I see? What am I seeing out there and where can I play and engage and interact? The truth is, the goal is not to become more visible. I love this quote. It's becoming more accurately seen. Because when you become more accurately seen, you are going to become more visible. Being visible, have you noticed like certain people, they're doing all these videos and reels and all these things, but you have no idea what the heck they do because they're getting visibility, but you want visibility and you want to become more accurately seen. And that's why I say you don't have to be that person, because being accurately seen is more important than just being visible. So the future belongs to those who are clear, grounded, and present. The biggest shift in 2026 is that engagement is the new currency, visibility currency. Depth of conversation, time spent interacting, and relationship signals. So you guys, you may have heard me say this before. Maybe there's some new people who haven't heard me say this before, but I recommend people be on social media, on your personal social media, which is your Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, wherever you are, for an hour a day, 4 15-minute segments. Okay. So it's not just an hour straight, it's 4 different times in the day for 15 minutes, because then you're able to converse and respond in real time. And every time you respond and then someone else responds after you, you get higher up and higher up in the feed of all the people who are interacting on that feed. So it's a powerful way to be online. And what I recommend to people is that you put it on your calendar. Put the 4 segments on your calendar. Obviously, if you have to change, you have to change. That's why I like to use Google Calendar, because you can just move the little boxes around. But at least it reminds me every day, like, oh yeah, I have to do my 4 15-minute segments. And even if it was 4 5-minute segments, it would be better than not doing it. So visibility is no longer based on followers. It's based on engagement. Your audience is not just watching, they're participating. Okay, so your message matters more than ever, and it matters more than the size of your social media following. Small creators with a clear presence can really win in this new game, and the algorithm now promotes relevance, okay, over popularity. So, somebody with 10,000 followers who's just posting blah blah can have less results than somebody who has like 500 followers, but they're valuable followers. It's the same with your email. You can have a successful, thriving business with like 500 people on your email versus 10,000 people that aren't your right people. I mean, and this is not new. I know this is not new for people who have done marketing of their business, but it's important to really refresh your memory of how important this is now, because it's not just about your friends anymore. It's about the content that you're sharing. 50% or more of the content that you see is suggested for you from people who you've never heard of. Okay. So, and how it's suggested to you is, guess what? By what you are liking, commenting, sharing, and posting in the words that you're sharing. So that's why it's so important for you to be posting, staying in your lane, and everything you're posting on your social media is relevant to what you're doing. If the algorithm thinks a person is interested in the content, it's more likely it will show up in their feed, even if they're not a follower. That's why your content will show up in other people's feeds, even if you're not a follower, if it's relevant to them. So I'm here. That's what I do. I'm here to help you stand in your message, lead with presence, and build visibility that's aligned and not exhausting. Okay, let's take a little shift and talk about what's losing power and effectiveness now in your social media. Posting constantly without purpose, over-polished AI content. And so here's another thing that I really want to talk about. It's probably not you, but whoever's on the call. So I get that it's fun to post the AI pictures of yourself and all that, but it's like once in a while is good. And using every single picture of yourself that's an AI polished picture is not going to get you visibility. It's also not going to build trust because people know when it's not you and it's an AI polished photo. So, I mean, it's fun to do the different themes and put the different prompts into AI, but I want to encourage you to show real pictures of yourself. And when you're showing real pictures of yourself, the algorithms, they know that. They're getting that. So performing for the algorithm, even though I say that, I don't play the algorithm game, and generic educational content, which again, I call blah, blah. Cut out the blah, blah. We're looking for intentional content. So what does build visibility now? Clear message and a strong point of view, real engagement before and after posting. Notice I said before, show up, start engaging. Like if you're in a group, start playing in that group, engaging in other people's content, and then post your stuff. And more people are going to respond to it than just pumping out, doing your drive-by promoting. Human voice and emotional resonance, conversations instead of broadcasts. So broadcasts are like, hey, everybody, I did this, or I did that, or look at me. That's broadcast versus real conversations. And the realness. Yesterday, I was teaching a class and somebody shared, this is so funny. I told her I'm keeping this forevermore. So she was doing a reel and she does a lot of reels, and she is actually a person who teaches people how to do video. And so right as her reel opened up, she sneezed. And then she was like, oh, I should start over. And then she was like, no, I'm not going to start over. I'm just going to do it. And she said she got way more interactions from people because she did that. And it's like, I just love that because it's like, we get to be real. We get to be who we are, be authentic. And that's the power that you can bring to video. That was so funny. So, okay, best practices for 2026. Facebook, best practices. Groups are better than pages, okay? Which doesn't mean you shouldn't have a business page. You need to have a business page, and you need for your business page to, to be populated with current content of what you're doing, your education and promotion. Because after people go to your personal profile, they're going to want to check you out on your Facebook business page. It's like your Facebook website. So you need a Facebook business page. Conversations over broadcasts, which I just mentioned. Comments drive reach. Okay, so if you have a whole thread and a bunch of people have been commenting, respond a few at a time. You don't have to respond to all of them at once. So respond to a couple and then respond to a couple more, and you'll keep getting pushed up in the algorithm every time you respond to those comments. Native posts, in other words, just your regular old post for videos, articles, and images perform best, organic and paid. So, you don't need to do the whole polished post and make everything look perfect. And especially the long form posts are really powerful. I think people are just really craving more depth and more meat. They want more to know about you. They want more to experience you. And so the long form posts are, on LinkedIn for sure, but even on Facebook, those long form posts are really working and getting engagement. LinkedIn, thoughtful text posts, as I said, long form posts, industry conversations in your industry, because also that brings in the keyword phrases, relationship first DMs. Okay. So not, hey, come to my thing, or here, try my thing. Relationship first, like, hey, great seeing you at that networking event. Would love to connect. Or I loved your post about, you could even send a DM about, I loved your post about something. So it's relationship first is the emphasis. Personal insights outperform corporate tone. And on LinkedIn, less is more. Like, the posting a couple of times a week, 2 or 3 times a week, and not like every time you post, the post before it is sort of like gone. So one post a day is good, but the interaction part is really important, engaging. And if you guys have any questions, just feel free to jump in because it's a small group and you're here and you get to ask questions. Go ahead, Giselle.
Okay, when you said relationship first DMs. Can you explain that again a
Yes.
little better?
So DMs are direct messages. So on LinkedIn, if you're going to, like, I might send you a direct message and go, "Hey, Giselle, it was so great to have you at my event today." Rather than we haven't talked in a really long time and I go, "Hey, Giselle, come to my free thing next week." It's like, so that's not relationship first. Relationship first is where or I'll go, "Hey, I love that post that you did about such and such, or that's such a sweet picture of your family." That's relationship first
Right. Okay. I was
versus,
just
yeah.
I didn't know what you meant by the DMs. And I've
Oh,
noticed that on LinkedIn. You get so many invites. Oh, come to my this, or
I
come to
know.
my that, or come to my
It's
this.
so annoying. I know. And
Yeah.
people don't realize they're not going to get you there that way. I love my
Yeah.
favorite one is when they go, "Hey, I'd love to help you with your social media." I'm like, "Did you even look at my profile?"
Yeah.
They don't. They're just pasting in messages. But that's my
Yeah.
favorite.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. And Instagram carousels are still good. Reels must feel human. As I said, go ahead and sneeze at the beginning of your reel. Stories build trust and save signal value. So encourage people to save or to share your Instagram reels. Okay. The
Okay, what's a
authenticity.
carousel? What's a
A
carousel?
carousel is a series of like 6 or 8 images that are put together to sort of like tell a story, communicate a series of concepts um, for a message.
Okay,
And you
thank
can
you.
do that. You can do that on Facebook or LinkedIn too. LinkedIn carousels are good on LinkedIn too, although it's a different format. Okay, AI authenticity evolution. AI, I'm just going to talk about it for a few minutes. It can help you organize and accelerate your ideas, but it can't replace your perspective. It's a powerful tool to amplify your real voice. It can give you reach, but presence is what gives you impact. So you don't need to be louder. You need to be more clear, consistent, and connected. So the very first thing that you want to do right after you get off this call is go and optimize your profiles and your posts. In other words, go to every one of your social media platforms and complete your profile. Giselle, you're just in the process of changing what you're doing. So go in there and make sure your profiles are describing what you're doing. Make sure you have a current photo. Make sure you have a cover photo on your personal profile on Facebook that's sort of not like a big flyer or promotion, but something, it could be something related to your business, but it's more about the passion for your business or the personal aspect of your business. And then on your business page can be like something promotional. And create your attractive visuals, use keyword phrases for better searchability in your posts, and consistently update your profile. I go into my profiles about once a month and I update everything and make sure everything's correct. Sometimes when Facebook, like if you have links in your profiles, like your social media links, I've gone in there recently and all my links were gone. And sometimes I'll go in there and my links are not correct anymore. I don't know what happens, but Facebook, like when they upgrade, they do a reset, just like when we change our website and we update it. And so sometimes things get lost. And so you have to make sure to check that about once a month. And on your website, if you have a website, make sure your profile is current. So, social media platforms favor people who are active participants. Stay present consistently. Engage with your audience before you post. Engagement is visibility. Respond promptly to comments, messages, and mentions. And this is why I recommend that you be on 4 times a day for 15 minutes so that when somebody posts, that you are there to respond. And here's the thing, in case anybody who's listening just went out of their body when I said an hour a day of 15-minute segments, I want you to think about, would it be worth it to you if you were getting, 3, 4, 5 clients every few months from your social media? Would the 15 minutes 4 times a day be worth it to you? Because if it's not worth it to you, you want to think about your business model. But if it is worth it to you, not having to leave your house, not having to get all dressed up, just being able to show up on your phone or your computer to play with people 4 times a day for 15 minutes, think about how much time and energy you're saving versus going out to networking events. Okay, so it's like, think about that in terms of, is it worth it to you? Would that be worth it to you? I mean, it's definitely worth it to me. I spend more time than that because I get clients from it. I get opportunities. I get speaking opportunities. I get all kinds of things because people like, oh yeah, Diana, they remember me. And then I get, they contact me about all kinds of things. Presence builds trust faster than content volume. Comment and share people's posts. And when you share people's posts, share as a first time original post. So you copy the content, save the image, and then post it as a first time image. Don't use the share button. I mean, unless you're doing video, with video, it's kind of a pain. So sometimes I use the share button for video and then tag them. Thank you for sharing, Giselle. Okay. So make sure you tag them when you share. Okay. Consistency is about rhythm, not exhaustion. So show up consistently, because when you don't show up, what happens is it creates like a breakdown. It creates a disconnect with people when you don't show up for a really long time and then all of a sudden you're there. So show up consistently. Okay, we're going to talk about the social media success strategy. So I have my book somewhere. Oh, here it is. The whole program is in here, the Whole Heart Social Media Success Formula. This is on Amazon. You can get it. The Whole Heart Social Media Success Formula, what to say, where to play, and how to win. But today I'm going to give you the shorter version because this is something that's really important. We are often really good at the educational and the promotional posting, but we aren't doing the engagement. And the engagement is sort of like the engine that keeps our social media moving, and it keeps the algorithm coming back for more. So the formula is, as I said, the formula in the past was just pump out a bunch of posts, do the latest gimmick, and you were going to get seen. That was how it was in the beginning. Today, it's basically 50% of the time that you are on social media, you want to be connecting, engaging, being you, building relationships. So you're doing this from your personal profile on Facebook, and on LinkedIn, you're doing it from your personal profile. And then you have your business page for things like your promotional and educational posts. So you are 50% of the time, and that's what that hour a day is. That's what that 4 15-minute segments is. And it's, we're going to talk about that a little bit more in a minute. 40% is to serve, to teach, lead, inspire, and motivate. In other words, to brand yourself, to position yourself as the expert in your field. And then 10% is to invite. Invite them to something. And I recommend that you invite them to something free. So if you don't have like a free event, you can invite them to an educational event. If you have products, you could do a money back guarantee for something free. But like a live virtual training, like what I do this every month. And it's like, it helps people to get to know me better and see how it would be to work with me. So that is 50% of the time you're connecting, 40% of the time you're serving, you're educating. And when you're educating, there's no link. There's no click here, unless you're posting a blog. Click here for my blog is fine. But then 10% is promoting. And so people are getting to know you before you're promoting to them. And so the engagement, the daily engagement, I like to use this analogy, acronym, the CARE, which is connect, acknowledge, respond, and engage. So it's like, if people comment back, acknowledge, respond. That's where the 15 minutes 4 times a day comes in. So that there's a back and forth, and it's not just you comment and then 3 days later they comment. It's active. It's in real time. And timing is really important. Again, back to the four times. A lot of times people ask me, well, when is the best time to post, or when's the best time? if you start showing up 15 minutes, 4 times a day, you're going to know exactly when your people are on because they're going to comment right after you. And you know, what's going to happen is you're going to start to see it in your notifications. You're going to start to see it in your feed, and you're going to start to like what's happening on your social media. So clarity. Clarity attracts your ideal clients. You want to be always thinking about who, before you even start to interact, who am I speaking to? What are they going through? How do I help them? What is the struggle? And what is the focus? So it's one person, one problem, one conversation. And if you have a few things you're selling, if you have a few products, or if you have a few different programs, one marketing message per campaign. Okay, so spend a month or two on something, then you can switch. Maybe it's seasonal. But if you put a million different things on your social media, you're going to confuse people. And you know the saying, if you give a monkey 2 bananas, they will starve. So if you give people too many different things, what do? Oh, let me think about it. So you think about, ask yourself, what are they struggling with right now? What do they need, and what will resonate with their in their feed? So the goal is you want them to say, this is for me. I trust her. I want to engage. That's the goal. So you guys have probably heard my pick five people strategy, but maybe some people on the call have not. Stop the scroll. Okay, stop scrolling. Pick 5 people a week to start to create and deepen connections. Okay, yes, excellent screenshot. So who are these people? They're active on social media. They're active networkers. They offer a different service to a similar group of people. And you have similar messaging so that you're in alignment and you want to share each other's messages. Okay. So you're going to pick 5 people a week. Who are these people? They're people who are in your networking groups. They're people who you already know from Facebook or LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, start there. If you're on Facebook, start there. And then you're going to connect on all your social media platforms. And they're in the groups that you're in. You do not have to ever go to one single new person. Okay. They're people you already know that you're not playing with on social media. We somehow think if we just get more new people, then something's going to happen. But no, it's like you're already playing with them. So what do you do with these people? You're going to like, comment on their page, share their content. And, if your friends tag them, look for ways to raise them up. If they have an event, you can promote their event. You don't want to promote your stuff, but you can promote theirs. And if it's appropriate, set up an offline meeting. But so here's what happens. You do this for a while, and few people play, a few people won't. Keep doing it. Few more people play, few people won't. And then you start to control what shows up in your feed. These people's posts show up in your feed. And then you start to see the notifications. So you connect with them because you see them like, it's like, oh, Jennifer liked my comment. Let me go see what she's doing. And that's what we do. Okay. So it's like, this is a great way to start accelerating your social media. I brought my book to #1 bestseller this way. This is what I've been doing for the past 20 years, is just picking 5 people a week. And some people aren't going to do it. It's okay. Find someone else. There's 4+ billion people on Facebook, and you probably know 20,000 of them and their friends. So here's what those 15-minute segments might look like with your 5 people. You're going to check your notifications on social media to see who's playing with you. You're going to explore who you've played with in the past. You're going to like, comment, share, maybe make an in-depth comment. What can you share of their content? Make an in-depth comment and make some other comments. Okay, so that's 15 minutes, 4 times a day. There's your checklist. And Monday through Friday. You don't have to do it every day. So another strategy is to collaborate with influential people in your community and your industry. And this is great. And collaborations stand out in this AI heavy world. I love collaborations, but I want to discourage you from, so a lot of people do these posting parties where you're all going to post on each other's content. It's great. Go for it, but make sure you're playing with people who are in your lane. Who are those five people? Who are those five people? Make sure they're people who are active, they're in alignment, your messages are in alignment, they're marketing to the same people with different selling something different, or even selling the same thing, but they're just different person. But make sure that your messages are in alignment. Okay. And so when you're doing these posting parties, it can be very powerful when they're in your lane. The goal is to build relationships, to build influence, because human presence is what builds visibility and reach. So, basically show up consistently, stay connected, and be curious, care about other people. So that's 50% of your time. Okay. 40% of your time is to inspire. Marketing is about inspiring people to take action on your expertise. Think about, what do you inspire people to do? Think about your core message. What do you want people to feel and experience when they land on your social media? Okay, so it's not just about your business. It's about who you are as a person, because people buy you before they buy what you're selling, right? So 40% of your time, show up to serve. And AI can support you with this. AI can help you create content. It can help you find ideas to educate, inspire, and motivate. And that's 40% of your time. So on your personal profiles, it's sharing your passion for your business. On your business profiles is sharing your business. I'm going to talk about hashtags for just a minute. We're still using hashtags. So hashtags perform several functions. They connect your post with topics or audiences. They allow users to search by hashtag. And most importantly, they tell the social media platforms who to show your content to. So the strategy that I use for hashtags is, you want to do like a couple of hashtags for what the content relates to, a couple of hashtags for the problem to be solved, and a couple for the audience. So for example, mine might be the content, what the content relates to. One of my hashtags might be hashtag internet marketing, hashtag more clients on Facebook, hashtag LinkedIn or Instagram. For the problem to be solved, hashtag get more clients, hashtag understand Facebook algorithm. Those might be some of mine. And for the audience, hashtag women entrepreneurs, hashtag purpose-driven women entrepreneurs. So on Facebook, you want to use, you can use, 5 or 6 or 7 hashtags. You want to switch up. So don't use the same hashtags all the time. Switch it up so that the bots don't pick it up as spam. On Instagram, you can use more hashtags. Again, switching it up. I have 20 hashtags, and I'll switch it up based on what your hashtags should relate to your content. So you're not necessarily, even though I'm telling you to make it relate to the content, the problem, and the audience, all of those things should be in alignment in your content. And then on LinkedIn, 3 to 5 hashtags. Don't use a million hashtags on LinkedIn. So the strategy is to post high content regularly, high quality content, share valuable information and engaging content, maintain, there's that word again, consistent posting schedule, use a mix of content types, articles, videos, infographics, and focus on providing solution and answering questions. Share user-generated content. User-generated content gets the highest visibility. User-generated content, this is a good screenshot too, are things like testimonials, reviews, lifting other people up, humor and memes that are in your lane, inspirational quotes, heartwarming stories, educational content, personal stories. All of these are things, this is the native user-generated content. So, it doesn't have to be all fancy and polished. It can just be these kinds of things. And these are things you can share on your personal profile. Okay. So if you're sharing them on your personal profile, you just don't put a link. Just share about the testimonial. Because you know what? Like someone said, well, what if people want to take the next step? They're on your social media when they're seeing it. They see your name right there. They can send you a private message. They don't need a link. Host live video sessions. AI can help you outline. I use this, like what I'll do is if I have a blog or I have even content from a workshop, I will ask ChatGPT to give me 6 different 90-second video scripts and just give me the outline of 90-second video scripts so I can basically use those videos as reels. Are you guys doing reels? You are? Giselle, you are? Good. Are you, Jennifer? A little bit? Okay, it's time. All right. And then creating stories, okay? Stories are great. People just want that depth of content. So there's 2 different ways I'm using stories. So creating stories are great. I want to say that when you use the stories function on Facebook, make sure if it's something you really want people to see that you're also posting it in your feed, because the story is only there for 24 hours. And then, sometimes you go to click on a story and then it's like gone. So make sure you're using your stories for, and the feed when you're using stories. But stories are great because, it's at the top of everyone's feed for 24 hours who's following you. Okay, so that's 40% of your time. So you're engaging, you're branding yourself, you're building relationships, and now it's time to think about inviting. So you can invite someone to something free, an event, a product, offer a product, special offers. The main thing about this is, here's what happens. You don't do the engagement, not you, but other people. Don't do the education, and then you're like, oh, I'll just put out my free thing. But you know what? Then that's 100% promotion. So you want to make sure that you're doing the whole formula of all the 3 parts. So a great strategy for is to use storytelling instead of selling. So maybe your story is about your superpower. Your story is your superpower. So share a personal story about how your product or service helped you or someone else, rather than just saying, buy this. Give examples, give testimonials, and then you can say, DM me if you're interested. And instead of, sign up for my coaching program or sign up for my class, you could talk about, I remember when I or a client struggled with whatever it was, I put social media here, and here's how I changed that. And now I help others do the same. So it's like share a story versus just, posting the sign up here. Okay, so put one thing in the chat that you're going to implement from today. And do you have any questions? Does anyone have any questions? So while you are putting your thing in the chat, I am going to share with you what I have going on right now. If you would like, more engagement. Yay. Yeah. Use my time online more effectively throughout the day. Good. Excellent. Okay. Thank you. So I'm going to share about my Whole Heart Monthly Masterclass that I have. This is a 6-month or year-long program. What to say, where to play, and how to win. And I've been teaching this class this whole year. Last year I did it weekly. This year I'm doing it twice a month. And then we have one master class because every week was too much for people. Live and learn. So the Whole Heart Social Media Monthly Mastery Program is basically a space for heart-centered entrepreneurs who want marketing to feel human and not exhausting. You have ongoing support and guidance, clarity and connection, accountability so you don't become invisible, and a steady place to grow your visibility and your message. We meet monthly, twice a month, and it's a 90-minute class. It's Tuesdays from 9 to 10:30 Pacific. And I do a teaching, and then we do Q&A and a hot seat, and people get to ask questions. And they're small groups, so it's like you really get a lot of personal attention from me. And then we have a WhatsApp group for weekly check-ins, and we have a bonus masterclass at least most months. And that'll be just something like we do a ChatGPT class, or we do a lot on video. We're doing a lot of stuff with YouTube. So it's really basically Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. The way it works, I have two memberships. It's either $5.97 for 6 months or $9.97 for the year. We meet live on Zoom and everything's recorded. And there's a resource page where you have all the recordings and handouts. We go through everything from, your message, what you're selling, how to do the social media, all of the things that you need to really be successful instead of just doing the one post at a time thing. Yeah, I posted this, I posted that. We're doing like, how do you really set your social media up to be successful? So if you are ready for a steadier, more human way to stay visible, I would love to invite you to join the program. And you can join, this is a good time to join because we're sort of just restarting the cycle. And you have access to all the past videos. They're all labeled. So you can like go and pick like, oh, this one's about the funnel or that one's about pricing. Everything's in there. So over time, you're going to experience clarity instead of second guessing, consistency without pushing, confidence in your message, a supportive community around you, and momentum built from small aligned actions. So I like to just really let you know, this isn't just information. It's not a get it done. It's not a, co-work space. It is an actual program. And you are actually going to walk away with everything you need to be more successful with your social media. The new visibility truth is that entrepreneurs who will thrive in 2026 and beyond are not the ones who are posting the most. They're the ones who are speaking with clarity, showing up with presence, engaging with as real humans, and using AI as support. And I am actually, one of the things that I help people with in that class is their messaging, because that's an area where so many people struggle with like, what do I say? And how do I talk about my business? So I would love to have you in the class. You can also take a screenshot of this slide, which has my how to stay in touch with me and all of the different things that I offer. And you after this program, you're going to receive a link about the program so that you can look at it on my website. But I'm going to put it in the chat as well. And in the meantime, I would love to know if anybody has any questions. Questions, comments, ahas.
I think what you said about the 4 times a day just remind me again the importance of not just doing it once a day. I was pretty regular for a while doing the social media way back when, and then I just kind of dropped the ball and would post from time to time. So I really need to get back into the swing of.
Yeah, I mean, that is a really big thing. It's like, and that it's so easy to just drop the ball. It's like, that's why I created this program, because it's like, my thing is, if people aren't in some kind of a program, they're going to drop the ball. So
I really liked the 50%, 40%, 10% breakdown. That was really helpful because I'd never really thought about it that way. Like I go through periods of being pretty consistent and posting every day, but then I sort of fall off and then I go back on. And and I think I'm like, it's kind of like you said, it's like you're kind of just doing it one post at a time, but this gives you kind of a little like, oh, that's a really good roadmap for me
a
to
rhythm, right?
kind of a rhythm. Yeah, I love that. So thank you very much for sharing that.
You're welcome. Awesome. Well, I'm so happy that you were both here, and I put the link to the class in the chat, and also you'll be getting an email after this class about it, a couple of emails. But if you have any questions, I would love to, if you want to just chat about it, I'm happy to set up a call. And also, Giselle, love to set up a call with you to follow up on our very long ago call. So that'd be awesome. And if there's nothing else, have a fantastic rest of your day. And thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Take care.
Take care.
Thank you.